You have seen The Flash.
I did.
I don't think anyone else here probably has seen it. What can you say about it that you want to share before your review is out?
I just recite my review. Really, it's really what you guys don't want to hear. Like, if I won't say spoilers if you don't want. But in essence, like, you've probably heard the criticisms, and it's very accurate. What you might have heard. And so the multiverse stuff is just it's a complete mess. I really wish multiverse stories would die and never come back. I am so sick and tired of multiverse stories. You can do them right, but I've only seen it done right a couple times in the past few years, and this one ain't it.
Which one's done it right? Which one's done the multiverse?
I think I think there are 3 keys to a multiverse story. If you're doing it in a comic book, like I understand you're going to have variations of characters and stuff come in. So they need to have some sort of impact on your lead character in some way so that they actually matter. So that they're there not just for the second issue, nostalgia bait. And then third, you need to have it grounded in some way so that it doesn't feel like it's just, there's no weight to anything and nothing matters. You have to ground it. The Flash did one of those things right, and it's probably the most important, which was grounding it with your lead character and making me give a shit about him. I hate the Snyderverse. I hate Ezra Miller. I don't care about the character of the Flash, but this movie, the humor was very good, and it actually worked for me because it made sense for that character. It's not like a Marvel series where everyone sounds the exact same because they all quip the exact same because the same writer wrote every character and forgets to give people their unique voice. It works for the Flash because this version of the Flash is insufferable as hell. And I typically think Ezra Miller's insufferable, but for this, it was like, oh, this is actually pretty good directing. It's like someone was able to hone him in, or like guide him where the humor should be. And I thought it worked really well. And the emotional beats with him, like, it made me care about that character by the end of the movie. I was like, oh my God, like I'm connected here. This is very, very well done. Everything else is a disaster. It was nice seeing Michael Keaton back, but he was supposed to be like, he's the nostalgia bait. Everyone's like, yay, Michael Keaton, hurrah.
Right.
But I'll give you an example of how you do that right. Spider-Man No Way Home did that right because the 2 Peters actually had an impact on our Peter, Tom Holland's Peter's life. And so they weren't just there for the, like, yes, you got the seal claps.
Yeah,
but they actually mattered to the story. With this, Michael Keaton really is just there for you to go, Michael Keaton's here.
Oh, he's back.
I hate that.
It's no impact on the story. It really no impact on our lead character. And they easily could have. Ben Affleck's Batman is in it very briefly, and what he says to Ezra Miller's Flash has an impact on the character. You could have just given that line to Michael Keaton, and I would be like, well, hey, he did something. They completely blew it. And the CGI is the worst CGI I've ever seen in a movie.
I've heard it.
Probably ever.
Yeah.
I cannot believe this movie cost that much money. And I couldn't believe my eyes when I was watching it.
So spoiler alert to anybody who doesn't want spoilers. I saw that Christopher Reeves shows up as Superman.
Yep.
Okay. How bad did that look?
Everyone shows up as Superman. When you're seeing they're all like CGI cameos, most of them, and they are the ugliest things you've ever seen. I cannot stress enough how bad the CGI in this movie is. But again, all things considered, because of the humor and the heart, I was like, I left the theater being like, I had fun. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It's the biggest mixed bag ever.
I do like how you said the movie made you care about, like, what do you want to say, the original Ezra Miller, Barry, by just giving you a more insufferable version of him. So you're like, oh yeah, I actually kind of like this.
Yeah, no, it really does.
Way more annoying.
It's so funny because it juxtaposes, and like it's kind of a writing trick, but you are like, oh, this Ezra Miller or this Flash, the older Flash, is a little more mature. because you see him when he's 18 and just literally makes you want to gouge your eyes out.
Oh, Melvin. No spoilers from Melvin. All right. But otherwise, yes. Yeah,
Sounds fun.
away, I think.
Yeah.
But okay, so
Dean Cain? Was Dean Cain in it?
Was Dean Cain in there as his Superman?
No.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't
So Brandon Routh was there.
I don't even remember him being in there.
Okay,
if do you want spoilers?
Yeah, who cares? I mean,
yes.
It's just it's a popcorn flick.
It totally is. But so Wonder Woman's in it, in a scene, and they actually have a little throwback to Joss Whedon's Justice League with one of his jokes with the lasso of truth.
Yeah.
And Aquaman is in it.
Aquaman.
Yep, he's in it. And this is why I hate multiverse stories, because they bring him in to kind of tell you, hey, just so you know, we're not on this earth anymore, but this Aquaman
Why did they do that?
This Aquaman is exactly like the Aquaman from the one you do know, so don't think of him any different. It's basically like what the Loki show did, where they basically sat him down and like downloaded all of the previous Loki personality into him and all of his memories, essentially, so that they're like, okay, he's Loki that you know, let's move on, let's not mention it again. Like, it's that kind of bullshit.
I know. I like hate that because like one of my favorite multiverse ones is like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and I enjoyed the first movie so much, and then I recently saw the like sequel to that, and it was so bad. And they do the same exact thing, like putting up this is Earth, whatever, and I don't really read comics, so I don't know that much about it, but it just became so off-putting and so like fourth wall breaking, and like it broke the immersion of the story. And like in the first movie it was really cool because you could tell obviously these people aren't from this universe because they're drawn in a completely different way. And then when they get to the second movie, it's the art is not as good, and I was just like
yeah, if there was ever a superhero saga that was made for TikTok generation, it was the Spider-Verse series so far.
Yeah. I was just so incredibly disappointed in that second movie.
Yeah, and Nicolas Cage really is a PS3 cutscene. Most of the cameos are a PS3 cutscene.
Nice.
Truly.
Damn.
It is.
Wait, Nicolas Cage has a Superman cameo in this?
Yes.
Finally.
You can finally see your Italian self on screen. Coco.
I know, we get the greasy Superman that Don has always wanted. I get representation.
Gay Italian pride.
Yeah, Italian pride.
But I just want to emphasize though, like I left the theater saying like I had a fun time, because it really was like the humor for me really clicked, and the emotional resonance. I was like, that is the key for me, is like, make it about the character. Stop making it about the spectacle and all the stuff. The nostalgia did not work for me whatsoever. It's nice to see Michael Keaton's Batman, but you literally just did it for the seal claps, and I was over that like 7 years ago. So you're not going to get that out of me again. Make it worth it, or just don't even do it.
Would you have rather seen like the Thomas Wayne version like they actually did in Flashpoint? Because I don't know why. I do know why I really love it, but I don't know why they diverted away from this, just probably for the seal class. But I love that scene in Flashpoint where Thomas Wayne writes the letter to his son for Barry to bring back, right, to the his timeline. And then Bruce Wayne gets to read that letter from his dad that's still alive in that other universe, and you see Bruce crying like from it. I don't know. That's one of the best scenes ever, and it's like, it's so good.
Yeah, that would have been really good, but I feel like you have to actually give a shit about the universe that they're ending and talking about in order for me to care about Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne, and I don't. Like, there is a lot of reverence for the Snyderverse in this movie, and I don't like the Snyderverse, so I'm just like with Endgame, when they went back to the previous movies, when they went back in time and stuff, like, it was kind of a love letter to a universe that people at the time, myself included, really loved. Like, I love the MCU. And in this, like, you're going back in time to a universe that most people don't care about, really, besides like legit Snyder cultists. Like, no one has, besides Snyder freaks have reverence for the Snyderverse. We
Have you
just don't.
ran-
Like, that's
have-
why it's ending, for God's sake, because we don't
you-
like it.
I was gonna ask the movie cynic real quick. Now that you've seen this movie,
Yeah, shut up, Lofty.
shut up. Are you excited at all the direction potentially James Gunn's going to take DC? Are you like, what's your general thoughts about it? I know you're a big Snyder fan. I think you've been saying this whole stream. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I know that you're going to take that in consideration. But what's your overall views on it?
I mean, more optimistic than what's been happening for 10 years. So I think James Gunn works best with like C and B list characters at the most. So like, who knows what's going to happen? Like, I don't have super high expectations because I think he's maybe I'll ruffle some feathers. He's overrated to me.
Thank you.
Really.
So what would you? So then, have you given The Flash a rating? Would you recommend people see it? I know, like, is it? I heard the comedy isn't that bad. Like you've reinforced that now too. That the comedy actually is kind of funny. It does kind of work.
Yeah, I thought it worked most of the time, especially because, like I said, it suits the character. And as far as ratings, like I don't give number ratings to movies. I just tell you how I feel about them. If I were to give it a number, based on our conversation just right now, probably like a 6.5. Like, and that means it's like not bad.
That means it's really,
not bad.
It's good. That means it's good, really.
Yeah, I thought it was like slightly above average. Maybe as far as what we've gotten recently too, which I know is a relatively unfair criticism, but like recency bias notwithstanding, it's in the 6-ish range. Yeah, like I'm going to rewatch it again because I kind of want to see what it's going to be like with not watching it with an audience too. I always want to try and watch a movie for the first time in the way that it is meant to be seen. I want to give it a fair shot because that's what the directors and the filmmakers want, and I respect that. But when I'm sitting at home and watching it by myself, I'm going to be interested to see what it's going to be like to like, am I going to laugh out loud? I don't know. I saw Guardians of the Galaxy 3 twice in like a 24-hour period. The first time I saw it with an audience and I laughed at some stuff. And then the second time, I didn't laugh at anything and got up before the start of the third act. I was like, okay, I'm done now. I got my notes. Bye. I'm not like excited to watch this again. So